A couple months ago, we talked about one node project called SonicSVM over here, and they are, pretty much when this video goes live, about to launch on multiple different exchanges and decentralized exchanges with those over here, where we got OKX, Bybit, Bitget, KuCoin, pretty much all of them, but then also dexes like Meteora, Jupiter, Radium, so you can tell it's on Solana. And in case you didn't watch any of the videos prior, I'll give you a short overview of what they're building and how to get the token. Now, we're also going to talk about the market in general, because we got back to 100,000 for the first time in like 3 weeks or so. And I wanted to mention some additional coins that I hold that you might like as well. Everything is linked down below, not financial advice. And let's start with Sonic. They do something that I haven't seen in crypto before, and that is that they power a Web3 TikTok app layer, onboarding the next billion users. Meaning that within TikTok the app, you will have access to crypto and to Web3 just by scrolling through short form content. So instead of trying to take people's attention and then send them to different sites and onboard them that way, it is directly linked within the app. Some of the biggest coins over the past like few months when it comes to memes, like Mooding for example and others, they all originated and started on TikTok. And right now, most people, when it comes to finding new coins that perform well, just go onto TikTok and see if there's something is trending, which is how Chill Guy started, for example. And that at its all-time high was 600 million, which is quite a lot. They also allow sovereign gaming economies that roll up to Solana, built with customized agnostic game engines and hypergrid interpreter. Lots of complicated words, but in short it means making things quick and accessible while having hypergrid in there, which is a parallel processing framework designed to introduce customizability and scale by being natively composable to Solana. Instead of making Solana something else, we take stuff and add it to Solana on top of that to get more benefits. Now they have almost 2.5 million unique active wallet, and I think they closed in around 8 to 9 million during the testnet as of December. And just like Telegram tap games and using crypto within Telegram becomes more and more popular, the same thing is going to happen for TikTok, and is happening right now. Now, a few months ago, we talked about the nodes that they had, which I wanted to show you, but website is down right now as they're preparing for launch. And even 3 months ago, they raised like 12 million in funding from some of the biggest investors out there. And you could have already bought different nodes in I think like 12 different tiers or more until now to farm some tokens, which you can then claim now that the sale is live. Speaking of which though, for the tokenomics, 57% of that token is allocated for the community, and of the 2.4 billion tokens in total supply, 15% or 360 million will be released initially. And if you did buy a node, you could claim 100% of the tokens, but you pay like 50% in early claim fees, or you simply claim 40% and the next 60% will get vested over the next 6 months. In my case, for example, I think I have like 2 nodes, 1 or 2, I get about 4,000 tokens. If they were to launch at about $10 million, my 4,000 tokens would be worth about 150, but we will see exactly at what price they launch and how the volume looks like and what we can expect from the price in a couple hours or days from now. If you haven't watched any of the other videos, just type in SonicSVM and Melos and you'll see them in detail. And if you want to get some tokens, want to get some there, and you're signed up to any of these exchanges, you can get it now. In case you search for Sonic on CoinMarketCap though, it should be SonicSVM over here, as it also says the launch up there in 1 hour and 80 minutes from me. So I will have this one linked down below, but you'll see if the website is live. But when we're already here, let's talk about different tokens, what I think about the market, what we're gonna do. We got back to 100,000 in market cap, but there's some things that perform a bit better. And those are memes and AI memes, a combination of both. So far, in case you didn't buy the dip about 1 or 2 weeks ago, in which pretty much every single AI focused project had this fairly cheap price down here before we went back up by up to 20%. And the next best time to buy it is pretty much now. If you watched the last video I made before Alex Becker posted his video, then you would have probably bought things like Destra, which went up by like 20%. You probably would have bought Reploy AI that I talked about a couple times by now, that he also mentioned. But it's hard to say what the best time for entry is. I would say in general, this is all probably going to go to like $1 billion and more in market cap, so everything should be a fairly safe 2 to 3x. But then again, how do you know? The one thing I know is that he mentioned there's a meme drop update for the coin that is going to have. And while there are a couple people that already got their allocation for sure, he also mentioned that being active for his coin drop will be among 10 to 20,000 wallets, for which you have to be active. You get cool points. How do you get cool points? Good question. The coolest over the next month or so until February, will be cool to get the tokens. Now, what does he say? Liking, sharing, commenting gets cool points. I don't really know how they will track that, because you could just farm with like 100 bots the same thing. But just in case, I simply click on like on every single tweet, because maybe that gives me some cool points and I always wanted to be in the cool club. So that's something to just keep in mind. It also reminds you that the market is going to take everything back, which is probably going to happen either around March, as that happened 3 years ago as well. As we had our rally for Q1 of 2021, we went up to new all-time highs until March to April, and then in the middle of Q2, we just dumped down. And then nothing really happened for the next like 4 months. So if history repeats itself, or at least it does rhyme, maybe sell half of all your positions by March or so just to be safe and keep the other half in case it goes up more. But if it does the exact same thing before, and October to November this year is going to be the second price hike, then we sell in March and April, buy in July and August, sell again in October to November, and then do absolutely nothing for like 3 years, try to accumulate at the right price point, and then I'll see you again in 2028. But we will see if the chart does the same thing, because nobody knows, right? No idea. But what I do know is that gaming eventually has to do well, and for that, simply hold things like build on Beam, some Superverse, maybe Engine, or if you want to be a real gamer and focus on the ads that run within games, go for Rarity. Quality-wise, one of the best projects out there. Little bit too diluted for my liking, but still pretty good. Great idea, good team. Just take some time for this one to catch up and be worth what it's actually worth. I'm also thinking of going back a couple years on the gaming coins that he used to talk about, his 100x gaming crypto portfolio, in which you mentioned Seedify, you mentioned Chain Guardians, D-Race, Virtue Poker, Altura. He's still talking about Altura, so that's probably a pretty good long-term vision. But otherwise, just go through old projects that I have been building for the last 3 years to find something that is undervalued and has a good chance to go up. My favorite one that you should definitely not buy, do not touch this ever, used to be Meta Hero. The idea is great, the price sucks, and I bought it at 20 cents 3 years ago. It's gonna come back eventually. You know, it's only down by like 120x or so. But one day, this line stops being flat. And until that time, I would say, have a good rest of your day. Let me know what other coins you think are worth it, and I'll see you fairly soon. Take care.